Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spoiler Warning Podcast. This is review number 804 with a review of Jurassic World: Rebirth. I'm Christopher Schnese.
And I'm Stephen Miller.
And if you're joining us for the first time, the Spoiler Warning Podcast is a weekly film review program. Each week on the show, we're going to dive in, debate, discuss, and argue over the latest films coming to a theater near you. This week, we already released an episode with a review of F1 the movie, and now we're talking about the latest film in the Jurassic World franchise. Stephen, before we get started, a few weeks ago, we reviewed a little film called 28 Years Later. Mm-hmm. And one of the things you were complaining about, having just watched all of them kind of back to back, was that the latest film uses text at the beginning to kind of invalidate the whole premise of everything that happened at the end of the last one. Did you get that tinge again as this film was starting? It was like, oh, by the way, all the dinosaurs in the world, they're all just kind of like done with now. It's not really a problem.
Yeah. Well, definitely. It definitely felt like they were leaning so hard. And again, I kind of think, and we'll get into whether it was successful here, if you inherit a franchise that has had some like pretty shitty entries beforehand, I think maybe the lesser of two evils, if you're like, well, I can either continue that and make a shitty movie, or I can just find a way to like get out of the constraints they left me and have a chance at making a movie not be shitty, like, take the second option. You know, it's fine in the end. Now, when you do that and then still can't make a good movie, then we have a problem.
Yeah. Though I don't remember, the last movie is the one with all like the genetically engineered dino bugs, right? Did they make like a virus at the end of that movie that's supposed to wipe all the dinosaurs out? Or
I think so. Did they do a poison pill?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Did it only target the hybrid bug dinosaurs, or was it all dinosaurs? Because maybe that's why. No, because the text would have said the virus from the last movie wiped out all the dinosaurs.
It really seems like, even though this has inherited the Jurassic World naming convention, it feels like this is trying to be a sequel to the original Jurassic Park and ignore that the other ones happened.
Yeah.
Though I'm trying to remember, I'm pretty sure I have seen every Jurassic Park movie. I'm certain I've seen all of them. This movie seems to suppose not only that the amusement park opened, but it had opened long enough for many people to have experienced it and for ticket sales to grow stale and people to have to innovate and do new things. My memory of the movies is the amusement park opened, like a pre-release version of the amusement park opened for the scientists and everyone to get in, and then shit went haywire and it closed down. Is there a world where this opened at scale for a long time?
So Jurassic Park never opened for real. Jurassic World did, because there was like normal people being picked off by dinosaurs in that movie.
Okay, but that wasn't like an early opening thing too? That had already been open for a long time?
I feel like it had been. I don't know. I'm being honest.
Because also the years don't make sense either, because they talk about like, there's a flashback that is something like 16 years ago or 15, which I don't remember the exact number, but it puts it in like the mid 2000s. And I was like, I don't think there was a Jurassic movie then. And I think the park had already closed and Jurassic World hadn't opened yet, because Jurassic World was like 2014 or something like that. Like, I just didn't understand the timeline that this movie was retconning or playing with.
Yeah. So the place that they go to in this film is specifically an experimental island, where they were crossbreeding dinosaurs to make special dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. So it's not where a park actually was. So that event was just the experimental place, not the park.
Yeah, but I think it presupposes that there is a park that it's in support of. I don't know, that people's relationship to dinosaurs, and it's funny, we're just kind of diving into a review here. Yeah, maybe before we go further, we can watch the trailer and just get into it. I'm just going to say people's relationship to dinosaurs and how commonplace or how not commonplace they are, I find very confusing in the lore of this movie.
Yeah. Real fast before we get to the actual trailer, just because it relates to that opening crawl text and some of the other conversations people have about why the dinosaurs are only at the equator. This film tries to claim that the equator is the only part of Earth in modern day that is sustainable to the dinosaurs because it's warmer and it has more oxygen. I don't know if the filmmakers remember, but the whole damn planet's warmer
Yeah.
than it used to be. Like,
They've talked about climate change. They brought climate change up before. I guess it's just not quite enough.
I guess it's really warmer at the equator right now.
Yep.
All right.
And oxygen. I don't know if there's more oxygen due to climate change where I am. I don't feel it.
Yeah. All right. Let's do as you said. Let's play the trailer for Jurassic World. And also, what's rebirthing?
Great question.
I mean, I guess we'll get it into it at the end. We don't have to do a full spoiler section, but or maybe we do. I know we'll figure it out. But
yeah, we'll find out.
I just don't know what rebirth is supposed to refer to. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a listen to the trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth, and then come back and give everybody a review.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett, our mission specialist.
Sorry, what mission?
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my God. Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Move up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park.
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst were left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
Okay, that was the trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion, a bunch of people try to sneak onto some islands to extract DNA from some really big dinosaurs. Stephen Miller, I told you didn't have to watch this movie. What did you think of it?
Yeah, well, so I have to explain. One reason I wanted to watch it is the chatter around this movie coming from, I'm still going to call it film Twitter, even though it's more like Blue Sky or, wherever critics are talking, was more mixed. Like, some people really did not like it, and some people were saying, and I've heard this quote multiple times, that this was the best one since the original, like, by a substantial amount. And now maybe that can still be true just because no one has liked any Jurassic Park sequel. That is a possibility, but I was curious. I felt like, okay, this is not going to be flaming hot shit the way Jurassic World Dominion was flaming hot shit. Let me check it out. And I don't think this movie is flaming hot shit. When we just recorded our F1 review, we talked about how all of the stuff that was not action was kind of mid, non-existent drama, but it was carried by the charisma of its stars. This movie asks the question, what if we tried that same trick while also not having charisma? And basically nothing about this movie works for me except for the joy of seeing dinosaurs on screen. And I was surprised that joy still carried me enough to having an okay time with this movie, because this is really, really not a good screenplay at all.
I don't know that it is a screenplay.
Yeah. I don't really know. The structure of this movie is very strange. The way characters are introduced feels very half-assed to me. The way they intersect, it feels like they deleted some scenes or forgot to do important character work that was going to be necessary to have it feel like there was an arc happening for people. This is really just trying to say, hey, remember the feeling you had when you watched Jurassic Park? Let me give you that feeling again. And I was trying to figure out while I was watching this movie, why does that nostalgia not totally work for me this time around? Because on a technical level, I think Gareth Edwards does a pretty good job of creating novel action set pieces using dinosaurs, using them in a way we maybe haven't totally seen before, still getting at the grand scale of them compared to the people who are trying to escape. I think he does a technically good job at that. And yet I never, when characters see a Brontosaurus type figure and John Williams' score starts to swell, I don't feel what I used to feel. And I don't think it is possible for me to feel what I used to feel, because I think dinosaurs have been oversaturated. And in the land of CG, there's nothing impressive to me about seeing a dinosaur on screen anymore. And no amount of craft can change that, especially not when the movie presupposes that all these people live in a world where dinosaurs are dying off, but they're like at the zoo, you know? Yeah. You can see a dinosaur. It isn't a big shock to experience one anymore. And I don't know. There's something where none of the pieces work for this movie, and the core ingredient that it is leaning on, which is nostalgia, doesn't really have potency. And yet I mostly had a fun enough time. I think the action set pieces are inventive enough. They think of every possible way to make a dinosaur put characters at risk in a way that we haven't already seen a million times in previous movies. And I think they find enough of them that I had a good enough time watching it happen, which is good, because this thing is dumb. It is real fucking dumb. Characters that we are told we are meant to love die, and then no one seems to care. They go on with their life, you know, and continue acting as if they're in a silly adventure movie. There are motivations that basically don't exist. The financial math of this movie, we have to have some corner where we talk about that, because I do not at all understand the financial motivation of characters who are the best in the world at their job and yet apparently have zero money. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't work here, but I don't know. The kid in me still enjoyed seeing a silly movie about dinosaurs on an island. There's some good, creepy new mutant dinos that I enjoyed, and yeah, I had an okay time. How about you? I assume, given your warning, you did not enjoy this movie.
I did not have an okay time. I do think this movie is a hot piece of shit. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of the set pieces are good at all. This film presupposes a world in which all the dinosaurs are just around the equator, you know, the belt of the planet. And all of those places are off limits. There are governments that patrol, don't allow you to go there. This film just goes like, yeah. It's really hard for our mercenaries to get there. They have to sneak in. But this family vacationing before their kid's going to go off to college is also just in the same path for funsies. Right there. They're just right there. And then this film slams those people together and then separates them, because we can't have the kids. Like, it'd be one thing if, remember in, I don't remember if it was the actual Fast and the Furious film or the spinoff where Jason Statham is like fighting and has a baby strapped to his chest, right?
I do not remember that at all.
Okay.
I don't know if you dreamed that.
Maybe that was the spinoff. Anyways, the whole thing is like you have people who are, or like even in a terrible movie that we did a review of, the Love Hurts movie, right?
Where we did not review that. I never saw it.
We didn't review that?
Nope. You watched it and you texted me and told me I did not have to watch it.
Oh, sir. You believe me when it's Love Hurts. You don't believe me. Anyways, okay. So in that film, there is a very Jackie Chan-esque moment where he has like this like award for being the best realtor of the year, and he's in a fight and he's trying to keep that thing alive, right? That would have added so much better stakes to this film if that family, who's just a regular family who's hanging out with the mercenaries, has to be like protected from dinosaurs, but instead they completely separate them out, and the family is doing the family thing and the mercenaries are off doing the mercenary thing. Which, by the way, we talk about like films being fun when they're sort of like a video game movie where it's like, go here, do the checkpoint, go here. And then like, there's ways to do that fun. This is literally, let's go to an island and let's pick 3 dinosaurs that are the big dinosaurs and extract blood from them. They land on the island. They're like, oh, dinosaur number 1's just right here. Let's go get the blood. And then they're like, oh, dinosaur 2's up on the hill. What are the chances? And then it's just one by one, just go do the mission. And then it's done. And first of all, the mercenaries only encounter new dinosaurs that are not like the classic dinosaurs from the original Jurassic Park. Family, on the other hand, only encounters the classic Jurassic Park dinosaurs. They are always in the most peril because they don't have equipment. They don't have anything. But somehow they're always getting out of the situations unscathed. Mercenaries dying one by one. Spoilers for this movie, right? Like the bad guys, I guess, they're supposed to be our heroes, but I guess they're technically the bad guys. It's just dumb as hell. A good example of why this film gets everything wrong. Several episodes back, we did a review of Death of a Unicorn, right? We did actually review that one, right?
Yeah, we did that one, yeah.
Okay. I was praising that film because of its love for Jurassic Park and E.T. and the way it homages those films by presenting visual flares that match those things in a way that you could tell the filmmakers really, really loved those films. This film is doing the exact opposite of that, where it is just like at some point somebody gets an arm bit off and it just lands on the ground, and it's like, I guess that's an homage to an arm that comes through the wall in Jurassic Park, right? It's like shit like that. There's like the raptor-ish foot. It isn't even a raptor, I don't think, in that scene, but it's a raptor-ish. It's a cloche moment where like they're in a thing. It's not exactly a kitchen, but it's laid out the way the kitchen was in Jurassic Park. And there's just all these things where it's like, we're just doing...
I like that scene. I will defend that scene.
I hated it so much. And then the worst thing too is, spoilers for Jurassic Park. There's a scene where raptors are trying to get the people. They're hiding inside of a thing, and the raptor's gonna get them. Oh, turns out it was just a reflection. Oh my God. In this film, the dinosaur stops to look at its own reflection. I'm like, that's not the same. What are you even doing here? Now, the biggest crime for me, and you kind of already hit it, but I want to explain why it actually doesn't make sense. The hot paleontologist in this movie, he specifically says, I studied under Grant. He has a love of dinosaurs. There's a scene where, as you said, they go see the giant brontosaurus type creatures. They're titanosauruses or whatever made up name
with
they
like
are.
avatar tails.
Yeah, with their avatar tails. But he goes and sees it, and he's like, oh my God. And it's like, like the music kicks in, and he's like, oh, and he like tries to lean on a leg, and he's like, oh my God, dinosaurs, as though I've never seen them in my life. When Grant lays on the Triceratops in the first Jurassic Park, he is seeing for the first time his favorite dinosaur that has not been alive in his entire life. So he is laying on it, seeing an extinct animal being alive in reality and losing his mind. It's his favorite dinosaur, and he's getting to touch it. Fucking hot doctor lives in a world that dinosaurs exist. He doesn't have to study bones. He could just go to the zoo and study the animals there. Why is it also a transformative experience for him? All they're doing is trying to recreate that moment from Jurassic Park and let the music swell. But there's nothing.
He's never gotten to see them in the wild before.
Oh,
you have to understand, it's so different that way in the wild.
But back when they were just roaming the wild, I'm sure he got to see them then, right? Like, this is 5 years after the events of Dominion, and Dominion was X number of time before the previous. Like, it's just everything about this film.
This is where, in my read of this movie, is that the second trilogy never happened. And so this is Jurassic Park had opened. It was forced to close. There were a few more kind of small attempts that failed, and now all that's left is dinosaurs in a few museums. Like a thing where everyone did not get to experience them in the wild. It was like a niche thing and it doesn't make any sense with the prior 3 movies.
Yeah.
But that is just how I choose to read it.
Yeah. It was upsetting how not fun I was having this movie. And it's like Scarlett Johansson, she never shows that she can do cool things.
Yeah.
Like, from what I can tell, all she has is the blood injector thing. And it's like, she's just running around going like, you can't shoot it, I can shoot it. And she stands there and goes, I'm gonna shoot it. Ah.
Yeah, I don't mean to be overly critical, especially because I think like women leading action franchises take a lot of heat, but they do Scarlett real dirty in this movie. They do not give her character really any admirable traits to root for. In fact, her primary trait is that she's fucking greedy and will do whatever it takes to keep doing the mission. And then they don't give her anything cool to prove that she is particularly good at conducting these missions. It is a damn shame. I think like the character who comes out looking the best in this movie by far is Mahershala Ali's character Duncan. Like, he is the one that gets a few moments where you're like, hell yeah, this is the person I meant to root for. I think Scarlett and I'm not going to say like lack of star power on her part, because I feel like the screenplay kind of fucks her over, but I don't get the overwhelming feeling of charisma that I'm supposed to be the glue between these different set pieces that worked for me and didn't work for you. Like, it is just a completely like vacant character. And
we've seen her be an action star in plenty of things before, so it's wild that this film literally just doesn't know how to use her properly. And it's a surprise. Also, there's this weird thing where like, I get that like Baby Grant is an attractive man, but like when he's like, what if we didn't give this to big corporations? She has like this like, oh baby, tell me more. Like, like the way she responds, she's like, oh yeah, you want to give it over to the world? Yeah, tell me about it. Like, I don't know what's happening.
He's just telling her he's dancing through life, he's doing the he can get anyone.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I don't understand like what what the hell is going on in those scenes.
Yeah, it honestly took me a while to recognize Jonathan Bailey. I kept thinking like this looks a lot like Theo James. Is that the British actor's name? I was like, but it isn't him. Who is this? Like, the glasses were throwing me off for a while until I recognized Fiyero from Wicked. That was my Dancing Through Life reference.
Also, I did see the trailer for Wicked, Wicked 2 or the next Wicked. I honestly had forgot there was still half a movie we
right. Yep. Yeah, Wicked for good. I really think they did the John Mulaney happy birthday card thing here, where they're going to have a lot of trouble making the second movie be enjoyable, given how much space they took with the first one. But we'll see.
Still talking about Wicked, right?
Yeah.
Because in my head, I was trying to go back to Jurassic World, and I was like, it started with a big ass dinosaur instead of a big ass bee.
Yep. In terms of big ass brontosaurus, but yeah, I mean, all of these movies have the insanely evil person that has to be like the cartoon villain along for the ride. Rupert Friend's corporate character is very much that. In the point, it's like his character seems like the reason why they decided the screenplay had to cleave off the family from the rest of the group, even though they were only briefly brought together. And I do think that is like a devastatingly bad decision for the movie, because it gets rid of a lot of the stakes, unfortunately.
Also another thing that I hate, like the way it tries to homage stuff. Rupert Friend is wearing the same thing the lawyer is wearing in Jurassic Park when he goes to actually visit the people who are digging up the mosquitoes.
Bones. Okay.
And I was like, why is he wearing that same outfit? Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I guess the place I need to dig in is I did find most of the set pieces pretty amusing. There is an extended T-Rex sequence that, if you think about it for long or short, if you think about it at all, it's pretty dumb. Like, characters make horrible decisions in this movie repeatedly. None more so than the father of this family. He is just constantly doing the absolute worst thing, just making really, really bad calls.
Steven, his leg hurt, though. He couldn't do smart things.
I know, yeah. Yeah, sure. And they definitely had shown us that in the previous 20 minutes. You know, they definitely hadn't been hiking all throughout before that moment. But there was still a joy. I think this movie does a good job of making dinosaurs into kind of recognizable animals with recognizably animal characteristics. And I thought the T-Rex was appropriately scary while also being appropriately dumb in an animalistic way. The same with the raptor bird hybrid scene that you talk about that feels like a recreation of the kitchen. That sequence I like because I feel like they are birds, and their behavior with the reflection is very bird-like in like the confusion, the am I looking at an enemy? What am I doing here? I found it enjoyable watching them kind of freak out. And to me, something about having the young family there was a key ingredient where there's a little girl who is getting like, she has wonder at the world and terror at the world. And like that combination of the wonder and terror of the animal kingdom is something that I thought they walked that line well enough that I was always kind of giggling at how silly and animal-like these were being, while also being terrified that they're about to like bite off the head of a, 8-year-old. And this, probably my favorite sequence is in the nest of the Quetzalcoatlus, I think it's called, the flying pterodactyl type creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that, and I don't think that is a fake mutant animal for the movie. Like, I think I remember that type of dinosaur growing up. At least I remember learning about it and being super stoked about the idea of it.
Well, and my earlier statements was not about fake dinosaurs versus real dinosaurs. It was about the newer series dinosaurs versus the original Jurassic Park dinosaurs. So like Dilophosaurus, right. T-Rex, Raptor, like the one family only encounters those at the start, and then everybody else is fighting like all the ones that they brought in the later franchises.
Sidebar, the Dilophosaurus cracked me up because when it started approaching, I was like, this is Jar Jar Binks. It was giving Jar Jar. I was really hoping to spend more time with it. But anyway, the flying dinosaur in the nest and just the whole sequence that had to happen there, I had a kick out of that. I had a hell of a time watching that personally. I didn't care about any of the characters, and that is yet another example when there is a character who I believe we are meant to root for and like who dies, and then there is like zero ramifications for that death except just continuing on the mission. The only sense in which I can disagree with you at all is I happen to have fun at pretty much all of the dino action sequences, and that was enough for me, including, we don't need to get into spoilers, we don't need to talk too much about the end, but there is a creepy fucking aliens type creature.
You mean the Cloverfield monster?
The Molosaurus. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was, if you're going to crossbreed dinosaurs and you're trying to make a T-Rex-like dinosaur, and you're like, ooh, but those small arms suck. Let's give them big arms. And you give them big arms. Yeah. Would you keep the small arms too? or would you CRISPR those out of that dinosaur?
Yeah, I also wouldn't put that much Botox in the forehead either. I feel like there's just a lot that I would do differently if I were fashioning these dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know this movie is very dumb. Okay, let's do the character finance corner. Okay. So Scarlett Johansson is like the best in the world at something, right? She's a mercenary. She had just been in Yemen on a mission. She'd been doing all this stuff. And the big life-changing amount of money that she is being offered by this giant pharmaceutical company to help them get this drug that will be worth trillions of dollars is $10 million.
I think it's
10 with 6 zeros after it.
Yeah. I was trying in my head. I was like, he made a special moment to say like, no, not including the one in the 10. But I was like, yeah, it's still $10 million. So it's
yeah. And now, I understand for anyone on the planet, $10 million is a life-changing, you have enough money to retire, never work a day in your life. It's a huge sum, not discounting that at all. If you are a mercenary who is the best at the world at something, who is hired to solve problems that companies and governments can't solve on their own, you can cobble together $10 million. Like, I don't really understand what they normally charge for these things, because clearly the price should be more than the price of, like, renovating a large house. I don't understand. Same with Mahershala Ali and that team. Like, they've worked together on a ton of gigs, and they're getting some kickback as a fraction of this total sum that it's being handed to them. Had they really never been able to ask these giant corporations for, like, $1 million before? I don't get how these characters can exist and not know their worth to giant corporations.
So I don't know that we know that this is not the first giant corporation that's approached her. She does these jobs, but it could be for other drug stuff and, like, people who sell munitions. It could be all, like, off the book stuff. But I think really the problem is it's a scale thing, right?
Yeah.
They pick how much they think it would take, and then they're like, oh shit, we need like 7 more guys, and then they got to split it evenly amongst all the guys. You know, I think it's just bad management of those projects.
Yeah. I just think if they knew their worth, they could ask for $100 million and get it. And I think someone has to tell them that they can negotiate. Yeah. Because a big pharma company that stands to earn trillions of dollars, like, $10 million is a rounding error to them. And I don't know. I just wish they knew how to advocate for themselves. I know Scarlett knows, because she had that whole fight with Disney over Black Widow.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, they can all rest easy now, knowing with the new big beautiful bill, the QSBS limit was raised to $15 million. So their first $15 million will be tax free. So even if they ask for a little bit more, they'll still get it.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, any last things you would like to say about this film, Stephen?
I think the movie leans so heavily on the original John Williams score. I found that kind of grating. The only thing it leans more heavily on is the trope of having a dinosaur be standing behind someone. They have a dawning realization of that, and then they slowly turn around to look at it. I feel like this movie does that like 20 times.
Yeah.
And I found that pretty irritating. But on the side, there is a boyfriend character who does it at least once or twice, and I enjoyed him. I thought he was a very funny character. I thought that was good comic relief every time he has a moment on screen.
See, Stephen, you're forgetting that dinosaurs behave the same way that cliffs do for Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
So
they're only there if you see them.
Yeah. If you turn around, that's when you get attacked. But if you don't turn around, you know, you could feel for the dinosaur to see if it's there. And then as soon as you realize it, chomp.
Yep.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to verdict, Stephen. If you were going to give this a must-see, recommend with the caveat, wait for rental, pass with the caveat, or a must-avoid, what would you give it?
I'm giving it a wait for rental. I did think the joy of seeing dinosaurs in fun, new set pieces was enough to carry me through this movie. I wasn't mad that I watched it. I guess in hindsight, I wouldn't have left a 4th of July barbecue to watch it. But I still think it has enough to recommend it. I don't know. Is it better than the previous trilogy? I think probably yes. I don't know. It didn't annoy me. It didn't annoy me in a cynical way as much as the Chris Pratt trilogy annoyed me in a cynical way. I think there's some better craft on display, and it's kind of telling a simpler story in a way that I prefer, maybe, but it still is not great or even good, but it's fine. And if you want to see another Jurassic Park related movie, I think this will be fine for you. Chris, tell them why they shouldn't see it.
I feel like in the past, even though I knew the Jurassic World films were not good, I was still secretly kind of excited to see them when they were coming for exactly the reasons you didn't hate this movie. But for some reason, this time it boiled over and became a thing that I actively hated, right? Like I saw F1 on Wednesday and was like, cinema's back.
Yeah.
And then the next night I went and saw.
You saw F that.
I saw F that. Actually, I saw F me because it was like, why did I watch this movie? Yeah, it is a must avoid from me. Like these are the type of movies where I'm like, even if they're not good, it's at least going to get like a wait for rental because like you got to see the next installment in the franchise. This one, I feel like there is literally not a single redeeming thing about it.
So you're not excited for the little baby Yoda thing that they're pulling here?
No, I'm definitely not excited for
that. Talk about a twist where you're so sure there's going to be a payoff and then the payoff never comes, like the obvious payoff that we can talk off mic after, but it seems so obvious what was going to happen and then they just never did it.
Yeah. It's like the text at the beginning of the movie said all the dinosaurs were only here. Now there's a thing that might make us one dinosaur somewhere else. Is that the rebirth? Is the whole world's going to be populated by dinosaurs from this one?
Hey, if they're all like that, then maybe it'll be good.
Oh, it's probably because that dinosaur has DNA from West African frogs that can change their sex.
Yeah, it can F me.
All right. Well, that is going to be the end of our review of Jurassic World Rebirth. Stephen Miller, if people want to find you throughout the week, where can they do that?
People can find me at Blue Sky at sdavidmiller or sdavidmiller.com.
People can find me at ChristopherInRealLife.com or ChristopherIRL on a number of social platforms. You can find the podcast over at thespoilerwarning.com where you get a bunch of the back episodes of the show. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so on Overcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are found. If you want to know when the episodes go live, you can follow us at twitter.com/spoilerwarning, facebook.com/thespoilerwarning, or instagram.com/thespoilerwarning. If you want to get a hold of us directly, you can send an email to fans@thespoilerwarning.com, or you can use the contact form on our site. Music for this episode will come from a track selected from artlist.io, so hopefully you're enjoying that. Whew, we did it, Steven. We are done. We're going to take off. And I didn't even look. Superman's coming out next week, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So we'll be back next week with a review of Superman. Bye.
Bye.